students. But I cannot resist the temptation to reminisce occasion. Your Excellencies, distinguished students, and fellow past and present leaders of Students' Union, our Royal Father, thank you very much. May God bless this occasion.
Official gathering. You are welcome. There are several protocols, but permit me to stop here and acknowledge all those who are present, including my Deputy Vice Chancellor, Professor Nadia Sada. While proclaiming peace unto all by saying Assalamu alaikum, I welcome specifically our esteemed guest in the caliber of air statesmen who secured the time and dissipated their energies to be here with us. I also, in a highly regarded capacity, salute the past student union leaders of Ahmad Bello University who have been with us since yesterday for the purpose of this grand novel initiative of the Ahmadu Bello University Student Executive Council. It is indeed a great homecoming. And all great Abusite, I greet you all. Great, great, great Abusites. This moment indeed unique in the history of student unionism in Ahmad Bello University, not because there were never vibrant regimes of student activism, and not because there was never a spectacular outing by past leadership of the union. There were indeed all grounds of unity. What is different, of course, is the revived, warm convergence of all of the past leaders. What is, of course, the revived fraternity that links up the old and new young union's leaders, and what is represented is the progressive, collaborative, and therefore exemplary posture of unionism which the current Representative Council demonstrates in its relationship with the past comrades and the current university management, a wonderful thought that culminated in this wonderful homecoming. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, permit me to specifically congratulate Comrade Abubakar Lapindai and his team for spearheading this beautiful idea. As you must have seen in the invitation and all program, we shall soon witness presentation of the book titled 50 Years of Student Unionism Leadership in ABU Zaria. Student unions, but also other in-house unions of the university, as a catalyst for positive development. This friendly disposition, ladies and gentlemen, has successfully led ABU to achieve an inviolable and novel breakthrough in institutionalizing a sound framework that eases tension and fracas in campus student politics. And this is what the ABU SRC host of this activity symbolizes. We therefore are proud of being close to our students, guiding them and guiding them. They are a trust we pledge to uphold on behalf of their parents and the government that employ us to do so. Student centrism is the global trend in university management. At the first Association of Commonwealth University annual meeting in Windhoek, Namibia in 2012, they referred to the universities we graduated from. Alma mater means bountiful mother. So we expect all our luminaries to treat ABU as a bountiful mother, and in return, we shall make the university to be a home where you will be given the best treatment, even if you grumble the most. So, ladies and gentlemen, you are most welcome to this historic homecoming. To us all, we have the project. They will thank you. We were there before, we went there, and we were there, and we are now here, and next we don't know how we are going. And we have approached. And I believe, 10 foreigners address Allah. Finally, once more, I would like to thank all of you.
He was an integral part of the school. Please take it for him. Thank you very much, sir. You are most welcome, sir. The committee of ABU Hospital, Professor Abdullahi. We are going to introduce them in no particular order. Please stand up for recognition. Without jumping the gun, ladies and gentlemen, permit me to introduce Barry. Next on the list is Dr. John Nambunani. This is the best Marjola I ever have. Also on the list. Sorry, I had this of blessed memory. Musa Zaid Abubakar Magani. Also on the list we have Honorable Adamu Waina Waziri. He's here. Also on the list. I wanted to say Amin. Ambassador Isa Muhammad Al represent and also is here.
The university has been, and I still see it as one of those universities that have not used its resources in form of getting the students to come back, to remember and to help and to continue building. His Eminence has asked me to make two important points, and I'll make one of my own. The first point he wants me to make is about what people have been talking about: students belonging to fraternities, students belonging to sororities, otherwise now referred to, everybody knows it as cultism. He asked me to remind you students that belonging to these sororities and fraternities, which turn into cultism, should be avoided at all costs. If you want to be a popular student, you don't have to do anything bad. You can do so by studying very well, associating with good people and participating in sports, in other club activities, but not what will, in the long run, cause damage or the death of any of the students or staff. So he's asked me to specifically mention this publicly, that we as leaders, we abhor this issue of cultism, and that it should be avoided. It should be shunned by all students in the best interest of this country. And I hope that our students will take this and keep on using it. The second point that he has asked me to speak to you students particularly is that we have just resumed after 6 months of waiting and sitting down doing nothing at home. He has asked me to remind you that while that was going on, he has told you when you visited him in Sokoto that you are also stakeholders in education. Sitting and watching and waiting is not what you ought to do. You are part and parcel of the education project. Just as your parents, the government, and the staff of the universities are stakeholders, you are also stakeholders. So you should not just see any crisis within the university as only between government and the Association of Teachers, but as also a crisis which is also yours, which you should also help in seeing it is resolved. So he has asked me to please ask you to continue seeing yourself as stakeholders and to ask ASU and Nigerian government to remember that education is vital, is extremely important, is the foundation for any development in anywhere in the world. We should not play politics with it. We should not ask for things that cannot be given. We should not deny what should be given. The problem of education funding and other things is something that has been left unattended for over 30 years. Nobody as a government can do so within 2 years to correct that. At the same time, you should not ask somebody to correct something that has been damaged for over 30 years within a very short time. So both government and ASU have a case, but our case should be for Nigerian students, Nigerian parents to get their children to be educated properly. Because of the piecemeal attitude or approach to education, as you can see, Polytechnics Association of Teachers are also on strike or are asking for something. Colleges of education are also doing the same thing. Why? Because education has not been given its proper place in the development of this country. And we must ask government to please look at this, because we cannot continue. Our polytechnic students are now going to wait. Our colleges of education are going to wait until it is resolved. Can you resolve, can government sincerely resolve the request of polytechnics and colleges of education? Something should be done, and we believe that government, the students, the parents, and the Association of Teachers of these institutions must come together and salvage the situation. Listen, if we all sit down and don't help in whatever we can. I am a special student, or I was a special student of Ahmadu University, because I started from Abdullahi Bayero College, which is now Bayero University. And after to grow, not just growing for nothing, but grow bigger and bigger in a positive manner. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Chairman ASU AP chapter, please can we clap for him. And former Senate President Nance, please can we clap for him. Also we have Comrade Jude, former Vice President Nance. Also we have Comrade Onalua, former Senate President Nance. They are all outside. Also have amidst a lawyer, Barrister Gabeshew S.
Want to, as His Royal Highness just said, they are dealing with unionism, but unionism in relation to other possible organizations of students, fraternities. Now, unionism, student unionism specifically deals with activities of students which are recognized by the law and which are done within certain laid-down procedure. And they are entrenched specifically to provide students with the opportunity to actively participate in the management of the universities, in the running of student lives, to assist students to manage their lives. Now, they are important because of one major character of the university. We are dealing with universities in residence, universities in which students live on campus. Sometimes some of them even with their own families. So it is the replication of the whole, and the student union is supposed to assist students in carrying out the dual function of learning and character building. And if you look at the Nigerian situation, I'm going to be very brief so that I'll focus on what the challenges are. You can delineate in very broad terms 3 phases in the development of student unionism. Starting with the era of nationalism from the 1940s, about 1945 specifically. They are today strange bedfellows. Now, the second phase came in what the chairman has said, the era of vanguardism, the 1960s, and I want to say that that specific period was also characterized by 2 things. Student vanguardism will remain a vital ideological tool of student movements, and I hope students will continue to use it to defend what is correct, to champion causes that are right, and to look for ways of safeguarding interests of the system as whole. Now, that is not a negotiable foundation, dimension of student unionism. But that is not where I want to focus, because I think the idea there is clear. I want to focus on the current situation. From the 1990s, several changes have taken place in Nigeria and in the world that have redefined the context in which we learn. The first is the reversal of the notion of a welfare state, a state that takes the full responsibility for the well-being of its citizens through the provision of social services and so on. And the emergence of what is now today is now clearly known as corporate state. State that now facilitates development, encourages development of infrastructure, put in place certain facilities and so on and so forth. Now, the emergence of this state, I'm not saying it's a good thing. I'm merely saying that is the reality under which we are living, along with the corporate world from the 1990s, has redefined the context of education. And I'm going to show this redefinition very clearly now. First, it is now the norm. If you look at the minimum, what do they call it, the benchmark laws, and you look at all the laws dealing with the award of degrees, it is clearly stated, and in government policies directly and in other actions indirectly, it is clear that the responsibility of the universities, not government, of universities, is to produce students who are employable, quote unquote. Now this policy started, I remember here in Wilson Theatre in the 1990s, the World Bank came, and some character came from the head of the World Bank and started, telling us all sorts of things about the fact that it was no longer useful to produce people who may not be employed. The university should produce only graduates that are employable. Not graduates that must be employed or are needed, but graduates that may be needed. Now, the implication of this new policy, of course, in the context of today, is that universities are expected to produce graduates that have 3 qualities. One, you must have a good degree, but a degree that makes it possible for you to get higher qualifications. Otherwise, you are going nowhere. If you go out and tell you you need masters, you need an additional diploma, and an additional certificate, and so on. So your degree must enable you to do it. Your degree must enable you to be employed on a competitive basis. And that your degree must allow you to be employed or to be self-employed. So you can get a degree in engineering and you can decide to open a mortuary. Alright, and help people to transit into the other world, sell coffee, sell other things, and so on and so forth. But nonetheless, you are using a degree. The third issue, I'm trying to be very quick, because if you don't understand this, we may not be able to ask the question, what are we supposed to do as students and as student unions? The third one is the change in the curriculum itself, in the whole character of education. from the almighty June, we are coming to the cost credit system. Now, the cost credit system engages a student on the basis of maximum of 24 credit units. That's maximum of 24 hours. That means what? In a week, a student is engaged technically for 1 day. 24 hours are occupied, lectures, tutorials. The remaining hours for the week are free at the disposal of the students. Now, when you look at all of this, then the expansion in universities, private universities, what it means is that there are now options. Leader, or you are a student union, you must ask the question, will vanguardism take you anywhere today? Good as it is. My own argument is that it is unlikely that vanguardism alone will do the work. You require collaboration, you require the capacity to network, you require the capacity for consensus building. And I will tell you why these three skills, additional burdens, are important for student unionism today. You must collaborate with management, you must collaborate with sources of mobilizing resources outside, you must collaborate with students in conflicts and minimize any problem that can create a condition. Parents are supposed to provide so many things as they do. And that means that if as students you do anything that puts you off campus, you are doing it at your own expense. And it's very important, therefore, to realize that you must avoid, where it is avoidable, situations that may lead to the breach of the peace, to the closure of the universities as much as you can do. These do not stop you from playing politics at all. And it will be good if you can play ideologically oriented politics. Do so. This does not mean that you should not have opinions or defend your rights or participate in any political activity. Do so. But please bear in mind that the context in which you are learning has changed and is changing rapidly. And that as you pursue political interests, you must know how to pursue your core curricular interests, which have become increasingly more challenging and more dependent upon you than they are upon the system and upon the government. For me, it was the beginning of a leadership role which I proudly acclaim, and as student union leaders, in spite of the transformation, that no leadership is too small, no leadership is too big. You must start from somewhere. I congratulate Abubakar for this novel idea of a homecoming. This is the second time I've come to the grounds of Ahmadu Bello University, and I feel ashamed. Since after I left 37 years ago. Why?
Uncertainties on the way to getting here, but alhamdulillah, we have gotten to this extent and we were able to bring all the former, if not all, most of the former student union leaders of Ahmadu Bello University's area from 1963 to date. We were also saddled with a responsibility to establish or bring to fore a document, a comprehensive document which carries the details of alitarism in Ahmadu Bello University's area. But the information was not there, sorry to say, Mr. Vice Chancellor, in the registry or anywhere in the Student Affairs Division. So, like always, we started from the scratch and we're getting roadside information. That was how we were able to get to where we are today, and even were able to bring up all these people that are here today. We met this person, and he tells us this person was a former student union leader, and so on and so on and so on. It took us well over a year to put together this document. Though it is not thorough, there are bridges, there are gaps, but our hope and prayer is that this compendium will reach individuals, groups, families, friends who were once student union leaders, and they will raise an alarm either to the student union or to the university management, so that they will also be incorporated in this history, because it is not a privilege that they should be part of this history. It is a right, and they deserve it. Sincerely speaking, believe me when I say this, I've seen further than others, because I was standing on the shoulder of giants. And these giants are sitting right here with us today. It is indeed a privilege and an honor to have been able to bring them all together today, to sit down here and also to look back and reflect of their mother institution, and for them to come back in any way they can to support the development of this great institution.
Professor, everyone in the academic and non-academic history of Ahmed Bello University, Zambia. In AU Zambia, started as a prelude to the industrial activities of the academic staff union of university, ASU, who often organized themselves in order to consult, develop, and confront the university management of issues where necessary, that body of their collective self-welfare. Hey, we need to speak with one voice. The students of ABU also felt that for the management to take their welfare demand seriously, it was sacrosanct that they organize themselves into a legally institute association which started the class representatives and eventually culminated into what was initially student union government, and now student representatives can themselves simply deposited as the promising part of qualitative Western education. The winners have successfully achieved it.
Thank you very much, Professor. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you. He is going to take donations for not only university students, but also our present leaders and those hoping to be our future leaders. This is a book written in gold, green, black and white. It is the first political scripture descended to you from the democratic haven of Ahmadu Bello University Student Representative Council, Direction of Good Governance. It is a leadership manual containing crucial ingredients of reasoning. It will enable you politically see the invisible, touch the intangible, and achieve the impossible. Whoever gets a copy of this, I assure you, if judiciously used, the sky will be his starting point for a better politics. Any page you read in this book will give you an edge over others. It will change your political attitude on contradicting constitution to those studying political science, and in fact, but for the science student, it is your laboratory practical manual for all the experiments you are doing. Where are those studying agriculture? This folio contains many things related to agronomy and horticulture. If educationists are here, quickly get this to know much about teaching practice, research methodology, and psychology. Hello, my medical student. This book is a cadaver, anesthesia, stethoscope, and a teaching hospital for any patient. To put things into perspective, students of administration will use this as a laptop to Google or browse any political and non-political issue that may come across. Hi, the great big student. This is a cow skeleton, a horse for you to diagnose, and a cat to sedate.
Today, as chairman, I'm not here to represent the vice president because he didn't ask me to do so. I was asked to stand in for him as chairman because the cap of vice president is too heavy for my head. The second item I would like to highlight is Professor of Students' Unionism and the changes that have occurred. His points are very valid, and as student activists or involved in student vanguardism, as he puts it, you have to take what he says very seriously. However, I must emphasize student activism as the vanguard standing for the people against bad governance and against bad policies of government cannot be abandoned, because the society needs a watchdog. And along with the press, students, union, activists, and the labor union are part of this watchdog for the people of this country. The third item I would like to highlight is the issue that was raised by the Sultan of Sokoto through his representative of membership of organizations in the university, what has turned out to be cultism. In our times, and I'm sure everybody will agree with me, these clubs and social organizations have a very good purpose in the university in occupying those number of hours that Professor pointed out are free for the students. Apart from swatting, to remember what you have learned in the lecture hall, these social clubs help to lift the pressures of being a student and the pressures of waiting for examinations from you. We use these clubs to entertain, inviting even outsiders. We used to invite here a fella. I know Christopher Abashia used to, in fact, involving the merciful. And in case, for many of you who don't know, that is a popular saying of Sir Bello, after whose name this university is named. Every speech of Sir Bello starts with, in the name of God, the beneficent and the merciful. We unveil this great publication on behalf of students, and particularly the Students' Union leadership, so that it will educate the whole society about what the students have been doing and achieving throughout the life of Ahmadu Bello University. So with the help of all these people, we say, so help us God. Amen. Well, I've been called to launch this book, even though I have some of my leaders here. I'm sure that was President of Students' Union, maybe when I was in my formative years in the ABU. But it is a pleasure, and I will launch this book with a handsome amount, which I will not mention, so that those who want to give millions will not be discouraged. I will also continue to reach out to our alumni. We don't have to represent it, right?
Beneficent merciful. This is what I have been in Arabic. And let me say that I don't know what the order of protocol is. A good homecoming. We are proud students of this university. We are proud alumnus of this university. when we were in this university, we used to be proud that we belonged here. And it is true that this university has a very, very good reputation. Have been politicians. Some of us have been administrators. Some of us have been bankers. Some of us have been... And I believe that we owe it a responsibility to also look back and pay back. What the students are doing today is quite innovative, and I believe that we must encourage you in this enterprise. I've not been through this book, therefore, and I'm supporting you. Since I left this university in 1979, I had never received any visitor from this university asking me to do one thing or another for the university. And asking me to come witness this ceremony. I was indeed thrilled, and I promised them that I would.
Who would have loved to be here this morning, but unfortunately, they had a calling which came much earlier than your invitation. All of you here know that General Buhari is a man of character. And once he makes a promise, inshallah, he will fulfill it. And he has promised and accepted an invitation much earlier before your own got to him. And that is the reason why I've been asked to come and stand on his behalf. Let me stress this point, that in no way can Colonel Hamid Ibrahim Ali substitute for General Muhammad Buhari. I'm only here to stand on his behalf. He is tall, he is a general, he is handsome. And he is a man of character. President and the entire student of the Ahmad Bello University for this genius thought and for this gathering which has never taken place before. The briefing we have received is that this is the first time this thing is going to take place. As a little bit from what the professor has prescribed, and that is in today's Nigeria. Looking at the political arena, looking at the way our country is being run by our politicians, looking at the way things are deteriorating from bad to worse. Well, in worst, I don't know if there's any word that we can use that is greater than worst. I think we are really big. Therefore, it's a collective effort for all of us. Be you a student, be you a labor union, member of the press, and of course the general society. We must rise to one thing, and that is we must get our country out of the present doldrum of this great university. Thank the students of this great university and to commend them for this single effort that has brought all of us here today. And we hope and pray that this will be the foundation upon which certain more gathering and looking back and building the history of this great nation and the great university will be set upon. Let me say this. All of you that know General Muhammad Buhari, launching is not his part of the meaning. He makes a donation, which I hope my group's president will appreciate, but we're not going to announce, but it will be made available to you by the grace of God. Thank you very much.
Our respected leaders and fathers that have served this country at one time or the other at their respective rights. Presidents past of the student union government of this great institution. The present leadership of this institution. The president of NANS, president of National Association of Polytechnic Students, coordinators of NANS as respective zones present here. Your Excellencies, my brothers and sisters, the future of this country, and most especially, our new Excellency we have today, the person of His Excellency Comrade Ahmed Lawal, the young chap, the young boy, the young Nigerian, the man that the future of this country will be waiting for that spoke here. It is my prayer that the Almighty God will bless and protect the wisdom of that boy. It is equally my prayer that he will be kept and be distinguished for favor as he grows up to service our country. God will bless his parents, and God will bless people to keep him alive to fulfill the purpose upon which God has created him. I bring to you all today, and I carry in me, one reception, one greeting, and above it all, a happy New Year greeting from His Excellency, Mr. President, Dr. Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, President and Father of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. I bring you greetings of hope. I bring you greetings of unity. I bring you greetings of peace. And above it all, I bring you greetings of a more stronger, more united, and a more vibrant Nigeria ahead of us. Now I want to start by thanking the Vice Chancellor, who has allowed in his time this dream to see the light of the day. Now several other Vice Chancellors would have killed it, because on several occasions, several Vice Chancellors do not want student union government to progress. But your Vice Chancellor is different. It's not different because he's a Vice Chancellor. It's different because he's leading you as a father, as a brother, and as a friend. And that is what we are looking at in the faces of our leaders. And that is the only thing that can bring peace to our country. Where love is strengthened, where unity is the watchword, and above it all, where Project Nigeria is expected to belong to us all. Now, but I will not continue if I don't greet my brothers, comrades, in the tradition that which we were brought up with, in the tradition in which we know, and in the tradition upon which we stand where we stand today. Greatest of the greatest of the greatest of the greatest Nigerian students. That great is weak. The great is weak because every Zaria has a tradition. Every Zaria has a history. Every Zaria has a pedigree. But above it all, every Zaria, like I was discussing with my senior comrade here, that this institution should be called an institution of power. It is an institution that has produced presidents and produced vice presidents. So it's an institution of power. So let us make people know that people that will become power brokers tomorrow still resides in this institution. Greatest of the greatest of the greatest of the greatest of the greatest Nigerian students. Greatest Jata. Greatest Bigi. Fundamental Papa. I want to yarn. I want to inform. I want to deposit. I want to educate. I want to bring peace. Ahmadu Bello University. Why I'm saluting you first is the fact that at the time you were going to vote, you do not know you were going to vote for a new union. You do not know you were going to vote for change. But God led you to voting the president of this kind. So I thank you for using your choice well at the time you used it. Today we have a president of this union that has done what is unprecedented. He has brought men of timbers and caliber together. Now so it boils down to what I am going to be talking on. I'm going to be talking to us, my brothers and sisters. I'm going to be making you understand what homecoming is and what student unionism is. Now the union which we preach, the union which we celebrate, and above it all, the union whom a whole lot of us live to be grateful for the rest of our natural life, is a union that has 3 C's: consultation, consolidation before confrontation. That is a character that makes us different from people that have not gone through this college unionism. Now again, the beauty about it is, if you sit down in your respective classes to ask yourself what becomes of you after your graduation, you have examples among people that have left this institution here today. Now if you sit down and ask yourself, what do I want to be remembered for when I'm out of this institution tomorrow? You have examples of the characters of people that you have seen here today. It means yesterday people have gone through this place. It means the facilities you are using today, people have used it yesterday. It equally means the certificate you are hoping to hold tomorrow. People have gone through this place yesterday and they are holding it today. Now it is a challenge to you that one, you must not destroy what you have met. And secondly, you must improve in the facilities you have met. Then thirdly, you must realize the fact that people have gone through this place and this institution is equally looking forward to what you will give to them. It is no other generation's responsibility to dream a brighter and a newer Nigeria than ours. Because it is our generation that will celebrate the next 50 years to come. The kind of 50 years we want to celebrate tomorrow lies in our hands today to decide. The kind of environment we want to bring to tomorrow lies in our hands today to decide. There can be only one Nigeria. There will be only one Nigeria. And there cannot be Nigeria without you. And there cannot be you without a Nigeria. So we must rise up to protect the unity of our country. We must see ourselves as brothers and sisters. There is no Christian Nigeria, there is no Muslim Nigeria, there is the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And of this institution that I am equally representing, I was shocked when they told me that he was president of this institution 1975 to 1976, if I'm not mistaken. And therefore means I'm representing a man that was the president at the time I had not been born. So I am honored and I am most delighted. But before I end 11 years of his academic calendar, we shall give him 50,000 each, which amounts to 550,000. We will give that to his father, so his father can see this boy achieve the dream of his heart. And the mother, but I want to state something clearly, that all of us must learn something. The house that young man is coming from is not the house of the former governor. It's not the house of the former minister. It's the house of my brothers and my sisters, men in the society like myself and you. Which means extraordinary things can be done by ordinary people. Let us go out as ordinary people and do extraordinary things. And the future of this country will salute us. And on behalf of the president who I stand to represent today, who is the special advisor to the vice president of political matters, he would have loved to be here, but something took him out of town. And he has said I should bless and beg and apologize to you that he's not here. But in the launching of this book, which I am desirous and eagerly waiting to read, that I should give you the sum of 500,000. Cash. So that it will not be like a tale of promise. He said I should give you cash. And again, I am equally going to try to see how I can discuss with certain people, to see how the dream of the union can be actualized and be sustained. It has never happened like this before. The presidents again have been said to take you Zaria. It will go into other campuses and it will be sustained.
I'll buy 10 books, 10 pieces of them, at the sum of 50,000 naira. Each. 50,000 naira each.
God. Not give money. Only Abu Said. No, what's there now? Okay, are you sure? Only Abu Said. Hi, fella.